What's up guys, this is Brad and I'm going to give you a quick tutorial on how to import rig Blender models with animations into Unity, and then I'm going to show you how to assign some JavaScript to the object so that you can access your animations that you've already made. So first off, I have a Blender model. His name is Guy. I downloaded him from the online Blender repository. He came pre-rigged and pre-made, so all I had to do was create a simple walk sequence that looks like this. It's saved as walk within Blender. It's about 15, maybe 16 frames long. It's nothing too outrageous. So I saved him to my desktop. Here he is as guy.blend. And then the next step would be to import him into Unity. So it's as simple as dragging him and dropping him into the project pane. And there he shows up. He is Guy. And when you're ready to add him into the scene, you're just going to drag him and drop him on the scene. And there he shows up. He's going to show up in your hierarchy as well. And we're going to press play and see what it looks like. There he is. Let's add some light so we can see him a little better. Rotate you. There he is, just like we remember him. Alright, so now we're going to add some JavaScript to him to make this functionality a little better. We're going to name this walk because we're just going to teach him how to walk. Alright, so we're going to edit this. We're going to create a variable forward equal to input.getKey up. Now this is going to be a variable that is pulled off of the up key from your keyboard. So whenever your up key is pressed on the keyboard, forward becomes true. So we're going to send that into an if statement. If forward is true, we want you to play our Blender animation. So we're going to do animation.play walk, just like from Blender. That's how it was saved. So that's how it's going to access it. So we're going to save that. And now we have our basic JavaScript made. We have to assign it to the guy. So we have to drag it and drop it. We're going to lose the prefab, but that's alright. We're going to hit play, and every time we press the up key, he's going to do our walk animation. Look at that. And he's not going to move yet because we don't have any other movement functions attached to him. He's just playing the animation. So we're going to make it a little more complex to where he can walk. So when the up key is pressed, we want him to move, and we want him to come out of the page, so that's in the positive Z direction. So we're going to do transform translate 0 0 input get axis vertical. And we're going to change his speed because he's going to move too fast. So we're going to have him moving at 5% what he would normally move at, just so we can keep him on our screen. And let's test that out. So every time I press the up direction, he should move out of the page, and his legs should move in the walk animation. So let's see how that looks. There he goes. Very good. So if you're wondering how the JavaScript works, the way this goes is this is going to translate in a three-dimensional vector. This is going to be your X direction, your Y direction, and finally your Z direction. The input.getAxis vertical is going to look at all your peripherals, and if there is a vertical input, as in up or down, it's going to return a positive or negative variable as 1 or -1. So if you're pressing up, it's going to be 1. If you're pressing down, it's going to be -1. And which means it's going to transform in a translation 1 unit every time the forward motion is pressed. Okay, so, and it's also going to be moving at 5% what it would normally be moving because of this added functionality. So moving on, we have him walking forward. So pretty much the only thing he does now is walk off into infinity. So we want to give him a little more control. So we're going to make it to where he can turn. So another transform function is called rotate. So transform.rotate. And this is also going to be in the 3-vector format as translate is. So you're going to do 0, and then we want him to spin on his y-axis, which is the vertical axis. So we're going to do input get axis horizontal. And then we don't want him to spin on his z-axis. So we're going to close that off. Now this, if you notice, this is the same thing as up here, except it's vertical, which means it's going to take from the peripheral's left or right input, and it's going to return a positive or negative variable, as it did with the vertical. So this basically should rotate him in the left or right direction whenever it's pressed. So we're going to take a look at that. So we press right, he'll spin to the right. We press left, he'll spin to his left. And then when we combine that with the forward motion, we have a controlled figure. And he can go off and do whatever we want. So, to recap, it's very simple importing your animations into Blender, your self-made models, what have you. Adding JavaScript to it is also extremely easy, and this tutorial basically just scratches the surface of functionality that you can add. So thanks for watching.